Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be mainly summarising the month of January. It's been one of the busiest months, if not the busiest month for both of us since my open gardens, probably back in July, August, September time. So yeah, it's been a really busy month. As gardeners, we both know it's one of the busiest times of the year, but it's not normally January, it's normally February, March for us, isn't it? But it's been non-stop.
Yeah, it has, and although it's been really cold, it's not been too bad in terms of wet weather. So we have actually been able to spend some time out there, haven't we?
We have, yeah. It's been a really busy month.
It's definitely been the busiest January I think I've ever had, garden-wise. Although I've not done loads, I pretty much do nothing in January normally. It's normally a bit of a write-off, really, in terms of freezing cold weather. I'm not a massive fan of being out there in the rain and the wind and the cold, to be honest, as most people aren't. But in terms of the getting stuff ready for spring and summer, I think I've done more this January than I've probably ever done in any other January.
I think you're right, and it's probably the same for me. But regarding you, your wildlife pond, that's had to go in, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need those done. Winter's a great time to do things like that. One, everything's bare. You can see where your land lies effectively, and where you're working, and where you're working to. But to get it in before February, March, it means the wildlife have got a chance to come visit and do their bit.
Yeah, I'm going to get it filled probably by the end of next week, get it filled up, get the whole thing finished so that it gives it a chance to settle. And then, like you say, into spring, summer, get the aquatic plants in there and really start to let it do its own thing.
I'm looking forward to the aquatic plants because obviously me and you are both focusing on that more this year.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do in that spot, because I've seen them in like full sun, and I've seen them in the wild in terms of under trees and complete shade. So it'll be interesting because it's got sort of part sun, part shade. It'll be interesting to see what the pond does.
Yeah. It will find its own balance, won't it?
Yeah.
And this is year one, month one.
Yeah.
Spring one. So I think it will find its own balance.
It's quite exciting for me because I haven't really got to do anything once it's done as well.
No.
I can just for something. Yeah, I'd like to just leave things.
And you're a big fan of getting a pile of seed or a handful of seed and just launching it.
Yeah, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing in the front garden, actually. So for Valentine's Day, funnily enough, a couple of days ago, or yesterday.
Congratulations.
Nice one. I've got an ulcer in my mouth and it really hurts when I laugh, so try not to make me laugh. Yeah.
We'll try and make this a serious one.
Yeah, so Rach got me a tin can of a load of wildlife seed, which is going to go in the front garden. So she's actually had the idea of doing the left-hand side as I walk out, do a bed and just throw the wildlife seed in there.
Nice.
Because like I said in previous podcasts, I do very little with the front garden, and you wouldn't even know if you walk past my house that I'm into gardening. So it'd be nice to just do something with it and kind of let it do its own thing. So
yeah, it leads me on to my front garden. Both of us have got very similar front gardens, haven't we? We've got a basic lawn, a couple of shrubs to one side, and then your house, and that's always been it for me. Now, because I'm doing the open gardens, there was a couple of comments last year about you need to do more with your front garden, and I always was on the mindset that because I've got such an overgrown jungle-style garden at the back, it was always nice to have that chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
So when you're walking up the front garden, you think, well, I'm here to see a jungle garden.
Yeah.
And then you hit the jungle garden, and it's like, wow. So it's completely two different worlds. But I don't think it works like that. So I've had to, like you, think of something. So I've started with a front flower bed, which is right near the entrance gate to where you go in to the back garden, effectively.
Yeah. Have you started that today?
Yeah, I've done it today. Yeah, we're going to do a video on that. I've got a few bits of footage for it already, which I'll include right now. So that's what it looks like. As you can see, it's in its really early stages.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky enough because I collect plants through the year and people know I'm into my plants and gardening, as are you. You collect bits through the year, people give you things. And if it's something you receive later in the year, there's no point putting it in the ground at the end of the year. So you keep hold of it. So I've got the advantage where I've got 4 or 5 more in the conservatory, plants that are in pots that I can actually bring out, place in the bed and see what works best. It's not going to follow any pattern. It's not going to have any specific planting scheme in there. It's just an overflow of my collection, basically.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to look all right.
So you're not going to turn it into sort of a wonderful cottage garden out the front to give you the juxtaposition of the...
No.
That was a big word, wasn't it?
That was a very big word.
Oh, my ulcer. I'll get some sweet peas for you if you want for the front. And
no, I think I'm good.
Cool. So you've also, obviously your staircase
Yeah,
Your staircase you started.
Yeah, I've only done, I think, the
Trust
first.
you to start something and not finish it. So
Yeah,
how far along
I've got
are you
about eight jobs and 8 videos now. Everyone's waiting for stage 2 of. But the staircase is at stage 1. We got really far in stage 1 actually, episode 1. So thank you for the timber that I stole from you.
No worries, plenty more where that comes from.
I'm here for some more. But no, stage 2's on its way. It's just a little bit more planning. Obviously, we've been caught up with a few other things as well. So, but no, this jungle waterfall, we did a lot on that this morning as well. We're at the phase now where we're trying to hide the back wall and the back liner. We've had a couple of discussions with some people about ideas and how best to do that. And I think the route we're going to go down is artificial rock in panels. So if you watch the video, I'll hopefully get that out this weekend, you'll see what I mean. We're basically making these panels. They will have fake rock made from expanding foam. We will then fiberglass the whole thing and the back. So it's effectively a waterproof or splash-proof panel. And then that will be mounted on the wall in amongst the real rock. And hopefully we'll be able to find the right colour paint and texture to tie it all in.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's stage 2.
Yeah. So I talked about the front garden. Obviously the wildlife pond's in. The shack, I mentioned the shack in every single podcast.
You do.
One day the shack will be complete and it'll be a video. Oh, my old son. It'll be a lovely, beautiful shack at the back of my garden, and I'll be stood there, and there'll be a picture of me with it, and it'll be like,
and it'll blow out.
Yeah, and it'll crumble around me. One day the shack will be done. I've done nothing to it this year at all so far, but we're only in the middle of February.
Mate, it might be a good idea just for now, because we're losing time.
Stop talking about it.
It's coming into veg season within 2 weeks if we're not already there.
Yeah.
So maybe just you've got the floor down, haven't you? So maybe just have that. Finish the floor and have it as a decked area, and just leave that for the summer.
It's now a moss-covered leaf pit of a floor, but yeah, there is some sort of a
just
floor.
Move your potting bench up there, and then it's got a purpose, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. No, it will be done. It will be done because it is the focal point of what I want to do next in the garden at the back. So it has to be done.
When did we do that video? That was one of our first ever YouTube videos, wasn't it?
Yeah, last year at some point. I can't remember, but yeah. It's,
get it done.
Yeah, it needs to be done. That's later in the year. But yeah, in terms of upcoming plans, like you just said, we're now in the thick of getting our veg seeds in and starting to do that. So over the coming 2 weeks, I'm going to be starting to get my seeds in. I'm going to do things like lettuce, and try cucumber for the first ever time, carrots, potatoes, and all that. I'm going to have a look at the garden and see where's best to put, because I've had a couple of veg patches before and they've not worked.
Yeah, but you made the mistake of putting those on the shady side, didn't you? So they were limited light, which has now been dealt with, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, because a lot of the trees have been topped off now, so we are going to have a lot more light, which will also help the grass this year as well, hopefully. Because where we've got oak trees and all that leylando and all that, it naturally struggles with the amount of root systems underneath the grass. It's just sapped of all the moisture all the time through the summer.
Do you remember that huge, great crater that arrived?
There was this huge stick that you put down and just kept going.
This stick was probably the best part of 2 foot long, and it went down. I mean, you nearly lost your dog down there, didn't you?
I haven't seen him since.
He's long gone. But yeah, it's just, I mean,
hopefully it will give it some sort of, there's no point doing anything without grass unless you took all the trees out as well, because it's just surrounded by them. But hopefully it'll give it some sort of benefit this year with having more light on it for longer periods of time. So yeah. But yeah, in terms of the veg, obviously the other side is going to have to be utilised.
Wildflower seed.
Yeah, wildflower seed. The veg that before I moved in the house, just after I moved in the house during lockdown, the veg patch that they had used was where the fish pond is. Because as I was digging out for the fish pond,
so that's what that raised bed, sleeper bed is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was loads of potatoes and bits and pieces in there that just hadn't been obviously taken up. So that's obviously why they grew it there, because it must have worked well. So I need to look at that, need to plan that, and then first and foremost, get the seeds in and get them going. So
I've also thought, going back to the front garden, mine's a pretty big front garden, isn't it?
Mm.
And it is just lawn. So I was wondering whether maybe to use some of the lawn spaces, maybe a couple of raised planters or something. You've got those, I don't know what they're called, but basically they open
like
up.
pallet surrounds.
Is that what they're called?
They're
Pallets
pallets
surrounds.
Yeah, like those, yeah.
Yeah, they're like basically a frame, so they come with built-in hinges, don't
And
they?
they interlock, so you can have them as high or low as you want them.
You guys will know what I mean. I'll put a picture up. But yeah, maybe use some of my lawn space, maybe just for 1 or 2 square metres of veg. Just
Do you know what? When I was on my way to Mum's the other day, there was and they've only got tiny front gardens around here, haven't they? There was a couple of people that have got like the corrugated. It's new and it's a purpose-built plant raised bed, but it's like corrugated metal, like sprayed blue or whatever, in their front gardens. And they had little tags in there that were clearly going to be veg patches in their front garden.
It's almost going back to...
It's going back to like wartime when everyone used to have to do it in their whatever space they had.
Dig for victory.
I thought that was quite interesting to see whether that's... Obviously, if it's happening there, other people are going to be doing it around the country. So it'd be interesting to see if that starts to become a...
Yeah, food is so expensive nowadays. I think maybe everyone's having a little go at it.
And obviously farming land and all that's becoming an issue now, isn't it? And obviously climate and everything, so maybe people are just trying to...
Yeah, I mean, we eat well, don't we, as a family as well. We're not scared of greens, or we're not salad dodgers or anything like that, but the main reason I will be growing it is for my little rainforest tortoise. Now, because he's so small at the moment, you've obviously still got to feed them, but they eat such a small amount of food, and it's not specialist food, but it's stuff that you wouldn't generally eat yourself so much. You have to buy a big bag of it, and, you know, he gets 2 or 3 meals out of it.
So the rest is waste.
And then it goes on the compost heap. But you're talking 152 £2 a bag. And it is just, I mean, I'm using it as compost, but...
Yeah, but you can buy a bag of seeds for pence, can't you?
But if I'm growing my own, I can literally just go out, snip a leaf off, and the plant continues to grow. So, yeah, it's going to be beneficial. Yeah,
and then you can put that money back into your jungle, can't you?
Exactly that. Not that there's any space or reason to spend any more money in there, but I'll always find a way.
So I need to continue my tidy up of the back of the garden, carry on with the wildlife pond, and get that finished off in the next week or 2.
You've got a lot of tidying up to do.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I have and I haven't.
You have?
I have. Ow. You need to get about 7 or 8 jobs actually finished, so you can do part 2 and 3 of the videos.
I'm getting there.
I'm starting new things.
I am getting there.
Problem is, like, to crack on with.
It's all stuff that needs to be done for the summertime and the open gardens. So, what'd you say like that for?
Because I don't believe it.
Everything does have to be finished, and if I start something and I have to get it done, you're
going to give yourself too much to do again, aren't you?
Maybe.
We also need to book Gardeners World Live tickets.
Yes.
And I've missed the 30% off.
I'm going to the one in May in Bewley.
Yeah, but we need Gardeners World Live.
Adam, if you're listening, look out for me, because I'm coming for you again. And it'll be next. So shall we finish off with? I think that's we pretty much covered January.
I think we covered what we've been doing in January.
Yeah. Would you like to sign out?
Loads to do. Okay. Thanks for watching again, guys. Us do babble on about our little projects that we've been doing and are going to be doing. Please hit subscribe and like, and just give us a comment if there's anything else that you want us to talk about as well. Just pop your name and a little question in the comments, and we'll talk about that in the next videos. So yeah, once again, really appreciate your support, and we'll catch you again soon. See you later.
Ta-da.